Far beyond snowy mountains and sparkling rivers lay the peaceful village of Moonbell, where colorful flowers bloomed outside every home, birds sang cheerful songs each morning, and children filled the streets with laughter. Every spring, under the first full moon, the village celebrated the magical Flying Lantern Festival, a tradition unlike any other. Families gathered beside the Great Lake carrying beautifully handcrafted paper lanterns decorated with stars, flowers, and colorful ribbons. They believed that when a lantern was released with a wish made from a truly kind heart, it would float beyond the clouds to the mysterious Moonkeeper, who watched over every child's dreams. Among the excited children was 8-year-old Emma, who had waited all year for this special night. She loved making lanterns with her grandmother, carefully folding bright yellow paper, painting tiny silver stars, tying soft blue ribbons, and placing a little candle inside. As they worked, Grandma gently smiled and said, "Remember, Emma, lanterns don't just carry wishes. They carry kindness too." Curious, Emma asked what she meant, and Grandma told her the ancient legend of the Moonkeeper, who granted wishes only to children whose hearts were filled with kindness, generosity, and love for others. Emma listened carefully, wondering what wish she should write this year. She thought about asking for a playful puppy, a room full of toys, or endless candy, but somehow none of those wishes felt quite right. She decided to leave the tiny note inside her lantern blank until she understood what truly mattered. The following morning, while walking through the village, Emma heard a soft chirping coming from behind a bush. There she found a tiny blue bird with an injured wing, trembling with fear. Without thinking twice, Emma gently wrapped the little bird in her scarf and carried it all the way to the village animal healer. Every day after school, she visited the bird, bringing fresh seeds, clean water, and singing sweet little songs, until one bright morning, the bird happily spread its healed wings and flew high into the blue sky, circling above Emma 3 times as if saying thank you before disappearing into the clouds. A few days later, Emma noticed the elderly baker, Mr. Oliver, struggling to carry heavy sacks of flour into his bakery. She immediately rushed over and helped him move every bag inside, grateful for her kindness, mister. Oliver offered Emma a basket filled with warm cinnamon bread, but Emma accepted only one small roll, asking him to give the rest to children who needed them more. Emma's aunt gave her 5 delicious honey cookies. On her walk home, she met 3 younger children who looked tired and hungry after playing all afternoon. Without hesitation, Emma shared 4 of her cookies with them, happily keeping only 1 for herself. Watching their smiling faces filled her heart with a warm happiness she had never felt before. Soon, the long-awaited festival night finally arrived. The entire village sparkled with glowing lanterns hanging from trees. Colorful ribbons dancing in the cool evening breeze, cheerful music echoing through every street, and the Great Lake reflecting the enormous silver moon like a magical mirror. Families gathered together holding their lanterns close as they whispered their secret wishes. Emma opened the folded paper inside her lantern, which was still blank. She thought carefully about everything that had happened during the past few days, the little blue bird, the old baker, and the hungry children. Suddenly, she smiled and wrote, "I wish every lonely child finds a friend, every hungry heart finds hope, and every family always has someone who loves them." She carefully folded the note and placed it inside the lantern. The village elder counted loudly, 3, 2, 1. Hundreds of glowing lanterns slowly floated into the night sky, filling the darkness with beautiful golden lights. But Emma's lantern stayed on the ground. She looked at it sadly as the wind suddenly stopped, leaving the entire lake perfectly still. Just then, a little boy standing nearby accidentally dropped his lantern into the water. Tears filled his eyes as he watched his wish drift away. Without even thinking about her own lantern, Emma gently handed him hers and said, "You can have mine." The little boy looked surprised and asked, "But what about your wish?" Emma simply smiled and replied, "It's okay. I hope yours reaches the Moonkeeper." The grateful little boy hugged her tightly. At that very moment, a warm breeze suddenly swept across the lake, lifting every remaining lantern high into the sky. Then something extraordinary happened. Emma's now empty lantern slowly rose into the air all by itself, glowing brighter than every other lantern in the sky. Its golden light shimmered like a tiny star as it floated higher and higher until it disappeared among the clouds. Far above the world, the wise moonkeeper smiled warmly as Emma's glowing lantern arrived. Looking into her heart, the moonkeeper whispered, "This child already understands that the greatest wish is not for herself, but for others." Instead of granting just one wish, the moonkeeper scattered countless tiny silver lights across the entire village. From that day forward, wonderful things began to happen. Lonely children found true friends, neighbors became kinder to one another, families laughed together more often, gardens bloomed brighter than ever, birds filled the mornings with joyful songs, and hope quietly spread throughout Moonbell like warm sunshine after rain. The next morning, the little blue bird returned and landed gently on Emma's shoulder. Around its tiny neck hung a beautiful silver feather that sparkled in the sunlight. Grandma smiled softly and whispered, "The moonkeeper is thanking you." Emma carefully kept the magical feather inside her favorite storybook forever, reminding herself that kindness always travels farther than any wish. As the years passed, Emma grew up to become the village's finest lantern maker. Every Flying Lantern Festival, children gathered around her workshop, excited to decorate colorful lanterns. But before helping them write their wishes, Emma always asked one simple question: "Who did you help this year?" The children proudly shared stories about helping grandparents, feeding hungry animals, comforting sad friends, sharing toys, and showing kindness to strangers. Emma smiled every time because she knew those acts of kindness shined brighter than any lantern ever could. And so, every spring, as thousands of glowing lanterns floated into the sparkling night sky, the people of Moonbell remembered the greatest lesson of all, that the brightest light in the world is not carried by paper, candles, or magic, but by a heart filled with kindness, love, generosity, and hope. Because when we help others without expecting anything in return, our smallest acts can shine forever, just like a flying lantern glowing among the stars.